Welcome to Caroline's Library, where we dive into the world of manga, anime, and more. Today we are talking about the very first manhwa I've ever reviewed on this channel. It's a post-apocalyptic, dystopian, sci-fi story with a bit of romance, and this manhwa is none other than Little Mushroom. So let's get into it with a quick story setup. In the year 2020, Earth's magnetic poles disappeared, causing a catastrophic environmental collapse. Within the span of 100 years, creatures began to mutate into what became known as xenogenics, while humans desperately struggled to survive in heavily controlled, militarized cities where anyone showing signs of mutation were instantly killed. Now, these heavily controlled military bases led by the ruthless Arbiter are the only things that stand between what's left of humanity and the Abyss, the home of these mutated creatures. If you want to enter a militarized city, you must first pass through a heavily guarded entry where the Arbiter acts as the judge, jury, and executioner. And in this intense, nerve-wracking environment, we meet our main character, Anja, a sentient mushroom who has merged with a dying human within the Abyss. After absorbing the genes and gaining the memories and consciousness of this human, Anja is ready to infiltrate the city. But why exactly? Well, to recover his stolen spore, the equivalent of his child. But will he survive the Arbiter's gaze in order to enter the city, or will the Arbiter discover that he's a xenogenic? Little Mushroom is an equally intense and wholesome story with incredible world building. At its core, this is about humanity's fight against extinction and the ethics of survival, where brutal actions are justified as sacrifices for the greater good. There are quite a few existential dilemmas within this story. But in this suffocating world, we've got a nice balance of cute, feel-good moments as our MC works to blend in and discovers what it means to be a human. His learning curve and personality add a charming tone to this otherwise bleak story, and as he navigates his day-to-day life, we meet a variety of interesting characters that add depth to the story. So let's dive into these top-notch elements of Little Mushroom, starting with the characters. Anja may be a sentient mushroom in disguise, but he is an innocent, genuine individual who just wants to get his spore back. And as we follow his new life as a pseudo-human, we see just how charming and pure he truly is. Which perfectly balances out our second main character, Lu Feng, the seemingly emotionless Arbiter who never hesitates to kill anyone that he deems a threat to humanity. And as these two main characters get to know one another, we see that there's more to our stoic Arbiter than meets the eye. But Lu Feng also has a responsibility to protect and defend what's left of humanity, which only adds to the suspense of the story because we never know if Anja will be discovered by our merciless Arbiter. And as the story progresses, things get complicated as we see romantic tension forming between our two main characters. But alongside this complicated relationship, we've got a few support characters that add depth to the story, including the poet, the doctor, and the master. And each of these characters plays an important role in this story's world building. Whether if it's providing historical context, explaining the society's hierarchy, or emphasizing the dangers that humanity faces. And I absolutely love every one of these characters that we've met so far in the first 60 or so chapters of this manhwa. Honestly, cheers to the manhwa creator for creating likable, morally gray, and interesting guys. As for the world building, the manhwa creator does a great job of adding in historical and societal details that help to really bring the story to life. And the way the author incorporates this information is much better than an info dump page separate from the story. Because we're learning alongside Anja, the world-building details are brilliantly introduced through conversations and experiences. And of course, there are still some mysteries that humanity has yet to uncover that help to keep your attention throughout the story. But like I mentioned earlier, the story also has its fair share of lighter, cuter moments that help to balance out these darker themes. There will definitely be times when you laugh out loud at what is going on. And I think these moments perfectly match our MC's innocent personality, where he's doing his best to achieve the goal of retrieving his spore. And it would be a crime against this manhwa if I didn't mention the gorgeous art. The manhwa creator really went above and beyond with the level of detail and the color scheme. It is truly a beautiful series, and I often found myself taking time to enjoy frame-worthy panels throughout the story. So, Little Mushroom has fantastic characters in an intricate world where brutal themes are softened with lovable moments. The BL relationship development is heartwarming, the morally gray ethical dilemmas are thought-provoking, and the art is phenomenal. All things considered, I sincerely hope this manhwa gets a Donghua adaptation in the near future. Thanks for popping on to watch this review. If you've already checked out this series, let me know what you think in the comments, and until next time, happy reading.